Hi guys, welcome back to my XVS guide. Now I'm gonna review Diverti, so let's start from his stats. So Diverti is kinda unique character because he can fit two roles on one character. On normal form, he is a magic tank, and on Brave form, he is an Dievoker. But also on normal form, he can help your party with damage because he is also a chainer. And for damage, it is quite good because it depends on his spirit. Spirit is useful for magic tank, so yes, you don't need to sacrifice anything on normal form. But again, let me complain here. It's okay, I understand, but why they only give him 100% chain modifier cap? Okay, and yes, I know that on some characters like Luna Freya, and yes, Luna Freya also only get 100%, but the point here is Luna Freya able to become true double hand mage. But for Diverti, he is true dual wield mage and only 100% chain modifier cap. So yes, you need lightning STMR, Savior of Soul Lightning STMR, okay? So yes, that's enough to complain. I believe you are bored hearing me complaining about this damage modifier on every video, but that's the fact. Why they give it to him? If he is true dual wield, I can understand that. And as a magic tank, I can say that his passive is quite good. 30% magic evasion and 50% draw attack, something that useful for a tanker. But again, I prefer fatal damage protection instead of that 30% magic evasion. Okay, and he has some nice elemental resist on normal form too, but you lose almost all your elemental resist on Brave Shift form, but that's okay because on Brave Shift he is an Dievoker, and yes, I can say that as an Dievoker, his Evo damage and Evo magic stats are pretty decent. Okay, I can say it's better than Terra, Ferris, and other Dievokers we have at this point. So that's all for these stats. Now let's talk about his normal form. So on his normal form, he is a bolting strike chainer, and sure, it only deals 60 times damage, but it based on his spirit, and it is flexible. So yes, I can say it's pretty decent. If you remember, we also have Melia on global, but Melia attack is locked to earth element. So yes, this is something that you should value, a flexibility. Okay, and yeah, the problem here is, yes, I can say it deals magic damage, but like you know that bolting strike is physical move. So I can say it's kinda mismatch between physical and magic damage dealer. But that's just me. Okay, and he also able to imbue earth element to himself and boost earth damage. This is gonna be useful for his evoking damage on Brave Shift form because yes, you increase both magic and physical, which gonna affect your evoke earth damage. And yes, for AoE magic cover, it's simply standard 85% with 55 to 75%. I can say that pretty meh, especially we already have Beatrix, and I think Beatrix much better as a tank with that 75% damage mitigation to all allies, while Diverti only able to give 75% damage mitigation to himself. But yes, I can say it is spammable every 2 turns, but again, once you use Beatrix limit burst, it is pretty easy to keep that limit burst going on through the battle. So this kinda meh in my opinion as a tank, okay? And he also able to buff wind and earth resistance, but again, let me complain, most tankers able to give like 100%, 150%, but this one only 80%, and for 2 elements? What's wrong? And yes, it also grants you 75% magic damage, but my point here is it's pretty meh. Okay, and for Granny's ability, this is nice. 90% damage mitigation to all allies except himself. So maybe he gets like a death wish, but let me remind you that he doesn't have fatal damage protection. But again, maybe you don't need this because, yes, of course, his spirit stats will be much higher compared to other characters. This type of Granny is gonna be useful against uncoverable attack. Okay, your tank probably gonna survive the attack, but other allies gonna be dead. But this 90% gonna save your party. So yes, nice, but what's wrong with increased chance of being targeted 100%? So gimmick. Okay, I really hate this in my opinion. And for limit burst, it is great, it is flexible, it is chainable with Protector's Bayonet, and it also grants 50% damage mitigation, but really sorry because the meta is not 50% anymore. So on the past I can say, wow, nice, 50%, but now it's below Beatrix, the free magic tank. So yes, nothing special. Okay, and remember, you need to level up this limit burst to reduce the limit burst crystals requirement. Okay, because if you don't, then you will have hard time to use this limit burst. Just imagine, okay, 89 limit burst crystals for 50% damage mitigation. Wow, simply wow. Okay, so enough about normal form. Now let's talk about the Brave Shift. On Brave Shift, he is a Chaos Wave Awakened Chainer. And yes, he can imperil Earth Element by 130%. But again, the problem is on this form, he is only a triple caster. So yes, let's just forget he able to chain with this Chaos Wave Awaken. And for Chaos Wave Chainer, 60 times Dark Evoke damage. Maybe it's good if you can find a copy of Diverti and chain them together. But let me remind you that this Brave Shift form only lasts for 2 turns. Okay? I really cannot complain because other Evoker also have limited time on Brave Shift form. So it's okay, but the biggest problem on this form, I can say, is his Grandest ability. It only refill his limit burst gauge by 60 limit burst crystals. Which means if you don't level up his limit burst to a certain level, this Grandest ability even cannot let you use his limit burst. Okay, so like I said, make sure you level it up. Okay, and yes, talking about limit burst, wow, I also want to complain. Okay, why I want to complain? First of all, it is 27 hits attack. So it is not easy to land like Terra, Ferris, Oracle Maiden, Nula Freya. It deals same damage modifier. Other things are basically the same. Limit burst damage, Evo magic damage, they are same. But the problem is, it is a chaining, not a finisher. And it is a Protector's Bayonet. Like you know that Protector's Bayonet is usually from the limit burst, and yes, I don't think there are many characters who has this specific Protector's Bayonet. Maybe, yeah, you can use Savior of Soul Lightning, it's good. But the point here is, the point is this, okay? 27 hits attack. Remember that you need to reach like 20 hits before reaching maximum damage unless you spark elemental chain. And yes, that means some of your damage not gonna reach full potential. Okay, and yes, the last hit deal like 50% of the damage. So you really cannot say, oh, it's not that big. Okay, the first initial hit is great, blah blah blah. The point here is, yes, he is great, but in the end, he gonna be weaker compared to other Evoker like Oracle Maiden Lunafreya. Against Terra, I really cannot say, okay? But against Lunafreya Ferris, I can say, yeah, I cannot say about the damage, but I believe he will be inferior compared of those Evoker, okay? I don't know by how much, but because, yeah, really, just that it's. And another weakness I find is there is really big problem on when you want to use him as a tank and Evoker at the same time. Remember that if you make him into an AoE magic cover, then yes, on Brave Shift form you're gonna have problem because, whoa, let's face it, on Brave Shift form you want to equip him to have nice limit burst damage, Evo magic, Evo damage, and magic stats. So just think about it. Are you able to reach 400% spirit, full equipment spirit, with all those main stats intact? Probably not, right? That will make him maybe dead on Brave Shift form, and magic tank dying on battle, that's equal to death to all your characters. So I think this is something that really interesting, but at the same time maybe not that applicable. And as you can see that his magic cover capabilities are simply so-so. Okay, so I think, yeah, just focus on using him as an Evoker. Okay, so that's all on Brave Shift form. Now let's talk about equipment. Equipment is pretty simple. On normal form, he is a tank, or even if you don't use him as a tank, you need to max out his spirit stats because he uses it as his offensive stats. On the Brave Shift form, like I have said before, Evo damage, limit burst damage, magic stats, and you are good to go. Okay, and yes, now my conclusion for Diverti. So yes, I can say he is interesting character. Without a doubt, he is one of the strong character on the game because he is an Evoker. But yeah, as an Evoker, maybe not as good as Oracle Maiden Lunafreya because his weapon choice is kind of strange. And remember, you need 2 of his STMR, so good luck with that. And yes, the problem I have said before, are you able to survive on Brave Shift form? That's it. If you're able to survive, then he is good slot efficient character. But if you cannot, then it's gonna be another problem to solve. And yes, the main thing that really pissed me off on this character is the vision card. Again, what's wrong? Okay, what's wrong? Why he gets the same vision card as Coral? Really funny, guys. He cannot even use whip. So basically, this Trust Mastery word, this vision card is kind of trash. Okay, not a trash vision card. It's good for whip users, but really, why? It seems like Fifi case, okay? Really, I'm kind of confused. Why they are so lazy? Okay, I know that it may be hard to create pixel art, but yeah, I think the better solution is simply change the character appear on the vision card. Why they use Coral and why didn't they use Coral and Diverti on the vision card and simply change the name of the card? You can simply use the same animation, simply the names is different a little bit, and then you can give a character matching vision card. Cannot they do that? I'm really confused sometimes. What are they thinking? Okay, and for the Trustmaster and STMR, they are kind of niche, but again, Like, you know that spirit-based attackers are usually good. So yes, they are niche, but maybe in the future, if there is something like exclusive global or whatever character, they're gonna benefit from this STMR. Okay, like Melia and himself. Okay, so if you already have Melia, I think Melia is way better than him as a tank, okay? Like I said, as a tank. But if you use him as an invoker, he is good. Just don't combine those roles together. Be careful. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all you need to know about Diverti. By the way, if you ask me which one better, Diverti or Coral, of course I'm gonna pick Diverti. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Private X videos. Bye bye guys.